Ah, shit. This episode of the BRG podcast has been brought to you by our patrons. Here at BRG, we'd like to thank those patrons who have subscribed and donated. It is because of generosity like yours that makes this show possible.
On this episode of the podcast, Kirak is out on vacation, so Nachopanda is standing in to give us all the latest in news and esports. And we talk about gaming nostalgia, part 2, the arcade. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the BRG podcast. I am your host, Warp Jester, and of course, as always, to my left, we have the wonderful, the esteemed, the bacon flavored. Wait a minute. Hold on. Back up. Kirak, you look funny.
You know, I feel different. I feel very different, you guys.
Wait a minute. Oh, that's right. Kirak quit again.
That son of a gun.
That son of a bitch.
But don't worry.
Yeah.
Kirak 2.0 is here.
So for anybody who hasn't clued in yet, this is Nachopanda. We've had him on before. He's also the person who does our esports segments. How you doing tonight, man?
I am doing great, you guys. I'm ready to do this, man. I'm glad to be back. I'm surprised. You guys are a glutton for more punishment by having me on.
I thought it was the other way around, actually.
Oh.
Anyways, guys, Kirak is actually on vacation, so he'll be back next week. He actually drunk texted me, by the way.
Oh my god! Please tell me there was pictures involved.
No, there wasn't. He did call me something very out of character for himself, but I'll get to that later. Anyways, so tonight we were gonna have on some guests from the Sogo podcast. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make it, so we're gonna go ahead and trudge on forward without them. We'll see if we can come around with them again and reschedule for another time. Unfortunately, we have to move on. So. But we do have an interesting lineup today. We got a lot of gaming news, a little bit of tech news, and other things. And then tonight we're actually going to be doing gaming nostalgia part 2, the arcade. This is actually part because we just had the California Extreme Con, which is basically a convention of arcade games and pinball games, which we'll get into on the second half of our show. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And that said, we're going to go ahead and dive right in. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and dive into the speed bites. We've got a few little interesting nuggets here in memory of Kirak, since he can't be here. We're going to have a few things on Nintendo, because you know how he is. First things first, you can now pre-order the Super NES Classic for reals this time. Last week, Walmart's, after last week's debacle from Walmart, the whole Nintendo thing's been a little bit sketchy at best, but they're saying that pre-orders will be available, and then the launch is September 29th. Today, Nintendo finally offered an answer, but they said, later this month. So, okay, but anyways, it's coming. You cannot pre-order. They're real this time. You can actually do it.
Thank God. And, with Nintendo kind of being in the front of this speed bits, we got a great article from our friends over at Kotaku that finally gave us a solution for the Nintendo Switch battery issues. If you guys have not experienced that, you are lucky, but you are very lucky. But they have now a new fix in their 3.1 update that basically helps fix the battery issue where it rapidly drops down to 1%, even though the battery is perfectly fine. But they say that to fix the issue, you have to charge your battery to 100% and then run it all the way down for about 2 to 6 different times. The battery charge indicator will improve gradually. So I don't know if they really know what the word fixed means. Uh-oh.
Hello. Sorry.
Anywho, back to what we were talking about. Nintendo Switch. Oh, that was probably Nintendo, actually, now that we think about it. They're on to us, you guys. But
Stop talking about us!
Our friends at Kotaku, though.
This is an issue with devices, because devices don't actually know what the actual battery life is. It's based on its known power capacity and how much time has gone by. So basically, you're resyncing what it thinks the battery should be at. Yeah.
Right. It's almost like a hard reset to that indicator, which I guess makes sense. It just seems like a really, really difficult, or not difficult, but cumbersome workaround. And, our friends at Kotaku, they must really have, like, a hard-on for Nintendo right now, because they actually have another... They're talking about some more Switch stuff. We got its first NSFW-style game. Now, for those who don't know what that means, you probably shouldn't be watching this podcast, but no, it means not safe for work. Okay, guys? So this game, which directs during a Nintendo Direct this last April, it was announced that Senran Kagura, I am probably butchering that name, a curvy ninja game, was headed to the Switch. Now, for those, if you are vaguely familiar, Senran Kagura, I'm butchering that, but it's pretty much what you'd expect.
Comments down below.
Yeah, we'll let that comment thread go nuts, but it's not pornography exactly, but there are some gifts to it that
you wouldn't want to be playing it at work.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing that on your break. Let's just leave it at that, guys. But that will be coming out for the Switch, so have fun with that, guys.
At least, so the Switch is getting games. If you're looking for a particular game called Unsung Story, you may be waiting a while. So if you guys don't know about this game, this has had a long and fraught history. This was a Kickstarter game that had some big names behind it from Final Fantasy Tactics, and it was promised to release in, I think, 2015, and then it got pushed back to 2016, and now the developers of the game have said, yeah, we're not doing this anymore, we've handed it off to somebody else. Oopsie. So basically, Polygon reporting that basically the previous developer, was it Playdesk, is handing it off to another one. I'm trying to look at the name, Little Orbit. Now, Little Orbit has a history of doing games like, Barbie's Summer Dream House kind of games. So they're going to be picking this up. And they've also gone further to release an announcement saying that basically they're taking everything that was done, if anything at all, and throwing it out and starting from scratch. So it's not dead yet.
But it's on its deathbed.
It may not be coming out for a little while longer. But yet, if you have a Kickstarter money yet, it's still valid, technically.
Technically. Well, unfortunately, with that game, we got another game that is actually doing very well at this moment, and it is in beta. We got some stuff going on with PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. They're actually having, I would say, trouble, but they're having issues with people not stream sniping anymore, which is
time out. I was going to say.
Let's define stream sniping. So for those who don't know, stream sniping is basically when you're watching a live streamer play, let's say PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds in this sense. You go onto their channel while you're playing, and you find them, and you basically hunt them down and make their life a living hell. Now, that was...
dick move.
That's a major dick move. But they have found a new way to troll big-time streamers. It's called... stream honking. Now, for those who don't play the game, the latest update, which came out in August, basically, they added car horns to the vehicles in the game. And now what people are doing with that power, they are abusing it to the fullest. They are chasing down their favorite streamers and honking the hell out of their cars. I mean... You can't stop the trolls from trolling. That's what they do.
You can't, but I mean... Okay,
God damn, guys.
It's better than having some asshole shoot you because he knows where you're hiding. So I guess it's better in that case. But you're basically running a big-ass red beacon over somebody's head by honking around them. It's like
exactly. You're not only...
everybody to them.
I guess it's a better alternative to stream sniping because you're not necessarily killing them, but... damn it, you're making their life hard.
Look, Mom, on TV! Shink, shink, not for long, asshole.
Kablow!
In other gaming-related news, and this is a great one. God. So, Rockstar Games is being sued by psychics. And I never saw this one coming. So, basically... with Rockstar being, the big edgy title being GTA, 5 that's out currently, and the popularity of GTA Online and rumors of GTA 6, you'd be a little unsurprised at the fact that they're being sued by somebody. Except in this case, when, first of all, the people suing is PRN, which is the Psychic Readers Network. These are the people that basically, have the infomercials at 2 a.m. to call the psychic and get help. And if anybody's been around as long as I have, they'll remember good old Cleo.
Madam Cleo.
Cleo. And I'm not gonna try to do the Louisiana.
I thought she was Rastafarian. Well, or like Jamaican.
It's not. It's. I forget the term. Anyways, nonetheless, the reason why they're suing GTA is actually for GTA Vice City. This is like way back in like 2002. This game came out, and in it had a particular character called Auntie Paulette, who looks a bit like, has the same type of personality, and sounds exactly like Miss Cleo. Partially because of the fact that the same person who voiced or acted as Miss Cleo on late night TV was the voice for this character. So PRN has decided to sue GTA now, 15 years later, saying that this is a copyright infringement. Basically, they're infringing on the character of Miss Cleo. I don't even know where to begin with this because, again, little asterisk here, I am not a lawyer. But first of all, there's a statute of limitations to most lawsuits, and I'm pretty sure you're skirting the bare ass edge of it. There's a possibility they could justify it because there have been re-releases of this game in packs and whatnot later, and they could justify that. But this is like blatantly it's kind of tipping their hat to Cleo, to be honest with you. It's making fun of it. It's
Well, the fact that she voice acted for it shows that she is on board for. She was on board for the.
But she has no rights to it. She's not part of this. She was just an actor they picked up to play Miss Cleo. Okay. For anybody out there, if I just ruined your life, I am so sorry. Miss Cleo is not real. She is not psychic. Just
wait,
so
hold
you
on
know.
Now. all this time, Miss Cleo.
All that money you spent, Nacho.
All my life savings. Oh. And she said I was gonna meet someone that was gonna ruin my life.
Oh, she got that right. You hear her.
She got that right. There you go. So, you guys, we're gonna kind of change the story around a little bit. We're gonna actually go forward with some esports news. Now, you guys know I love esports. As I cover the esports I do the esports coverage for this podcast. Whoa, excuse me. But anyways, we got the Overwatch World Cup group stages going on this weekend, you guys, and they are taking place in Katowice, Poland. You guys, that is fucking exciting, you guys. It's really cool because this is just the first step to the main stage. Now, they are playing it's supposed to start this weekend with groups E and F facing off. The Group E will be led by the winners of the 2016 World Cup. So you're going to see the best of the best just starting this weekend. And I got to say, I've watched some of these guys play, and it is just ungodly how incredible these guys are. And for those who just like Overwatch, you got to watch these guys play because you may be able to pick up a trick or two with how well they play the maps and they just know what to do. So that will be going on this weekend, you guys. I hope you at least check it out. Maybe check the VODs. You know, they do put those out there. So Twitch will definitely be running that all weekend. And I highly, highly encourage you guys to at least stop by and check it out.
Yeah, there's the official Overwatch Twitch channel. So
yes,
let's see what's going on there. A little bit of tech news. Just something worth noting that may be interesting and may be falling flat on its face for all I know. But AMD takes aim on NVIDIA for their high-end Vega graphics card. So AMD is finally unveiling its Radeon RX Vega line of GPUs. And this is interesting because AMD is kind of just taking a backseat to making, decent video cards, but at a lower cost. So basically, if you need to build a budget machine, you went with AMD because that's the more more affordable
Cost
graphics,
efficient.
more affordable CPUs, etc. But this is square on going up against the higher end things. Now, a few aspects about this. So the Vega family to be used with 3 different Vega graphics chips, which are scheduled for launch on August 14th. The base model Radeon RX Vega 56 with 56 compute units, which will go for a suggested retail price of $399. Next up will be the Vega 64, which bumps up the compute units to 64. Duh. Huh. And that's for an additional $100. Now, AMD also is going to release a more powerful version of the RX 64 that's going to use liquid cooling, but this is only going to come in bundles called the Radeon packs, and the bundles are actually going to be a pack with like other systems, CPUs, things like that. So look into those if you're interested. If you are a diehard AMD fan, here you go. I'm gonna not hold my breath. I'll be honest with you. I want AMD to do well. I want competition, but Nvidia has had really, really good video cards that are very competent for any game you're playing, whether you're doing singular or SLI. And they're actually reasonably priced considering what the past has been. So, take it with a grain of salt, I guess.
And we'll see. I'm sure we'll see a lot coming out in the near future about how they're doing. We'll get benchmark tests and everything like that. So
real benchmark tests, not the ones they put out saying, look how good we are.
Yeah, we're so awesome, guys.
One last thing on the media front. Sony is buying Funimation. I find this very interesting. So, Sony Pictures Television Network has announced that it's going to be acquiring a major stake in Funimation. If you don't know, Funimation are the people that basically bring a lot of Japanese anime to the Americas. A lot of things like, I want to say Naruto. I think Dragon Ball Z.
I'm pretty sure.
A few others. Are all Funimation. Usually, if you see it come into the Funimation title, it's usually them taking content from overseas and releasing dubbed versions of it, which, yay for that. What this means for Sony, or what means for Funimation going forward, I have absolutely no idea. It'll be interesting. I appreciate Funimation for all the stuff they put out because I'm a lazy person who doesn't want to read my movies, so having dubbed content has always been very appreciated. We'll see what happens.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
I'll see what happens.
We will wait and see, man.
All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for the speed bits, and we're gonna go ahead and move on.
All right.
All right, guys, we're going to dive into the main topic tonight. I'm super excited because this actually blends really well. Last week we talked about kind of gaming nostalgia, talked about the consoles of our era and kind of where they came from, where they have gone to, and things like that. And then over the past weekend, I actually got to go to an annual event called California Extreme Con, which is actually they call it CAX. It is a annual con where they have this time actually a couple of rooms open, full to the gills with pinball machines and arcade machines, both classic and modern, all set to free to play. And for the record, I invited Nacho to join me, but he was too busy, being a real human being in real life and not playing games. So.
And I regret it completely.
You should. But it was fantastic. It was. I've been going for a couple of years now. We did a little video last year about CAX, talking with Seshi about some game history and whatnot. And we're definitely gonna be doing it again. Hopefully, get like more interviews and whatnot. And before we even dive into this, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you guys the video. Hey guys, I am here outside of the Santa Clara Convention Center. We're here at this 2017 California Extreme Con. This is a convention they have every year where they have a shitload of arcade games, pinball machines, classic systems, and they're all here on free to play. So I got my tickets. We're going to go on and check it all out. Come on! All right, guys. So there you go. That gives you a little sneaky peek into Cax, a little thing there. I do want to do more with it. And do some like interviews and stuff like that. And hopefully I'll be able to do this next year. Nacho wants to join me for CAC,
Yes.
so we'll see if we can have some more fun, get you more details about it. I just want to give a little teaser in there. And again, this is a good segue into arcade history. So, oh God, where to begin? This is my childhood. So this is interesting because arcades, as they are now, are a different beast. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But back in the heyday, you know, not a lot of people had consoles. Consoles still weren't that big a deal, or the fact that they really didn't have the prowess. You didn't have arcade games at home. You know, if there was a particular game you like Street Fighter, you didn't have Street Fighter on the NES. You went to the arcade. You went to the liquor store that had a machine in the corner. This is what these things were. They were a niche that was filled by us craven youth that wanted to have something to play and be quote unquote social in a public setting. So, you know, you went and did this. And arcades have been around for millennia. You know, pinball games date back to the very, very early times, well before my existence. But when I think about classic arcades, I'm talking about, and again, I'm not sure if this is worldwide, nationwide, local, whatever. But like, for example, there were all kinds of games to be set up in everything from a local liquor store, 7-Eleven, all the way up to things like Aladdin's Castle. Now, Aladdin's Castle was I have been pretty much raised in California. So Aladdin's Castle, whenever we went to any mall, chances are they had an Aladdin's Castle there. And it was literally just wall to wall video games, noise going off every which way. It was crazy. And you went in there, you shoved your money into a little token machine. You got a bunch of little tokens out that you use for the game.
Credits.
Yeah, they were the credits, and 1 quarter was 1 token. If you bought like $20 worth at a time, you get an extra like $5 worth of tokens, kind of as a bonus treat, so to speak. I mean, you have kids walking around. They had these lanyards you put on. They had these little tubes that the coins would sit in, like 20 at a time or $30 at a time. So you see these kids walk around with these tubes on their neck. They're like, oh,
those are the cool guys.
Those are the cool guys. I mean, for me, every week was pretty much, you know, bother the crap out of my dad, wake him up, make him give me a $20 bill, ride my bicycle all the way over to San Antonio Shopping Center so that I could play half my morning away on everything from Spy Hunter to Gauntlet to whatever else was there that was fun to play. You know, it's you just mill around. Didn't really socialize a lot much. I mean, you played with other people on occasion, played with people on occasion, but I didn't exactly walk away with friends from that place. I mean, later in life, I ended up making friends with the guy who worked there, but that's a whole nother story.
That's a story for a different day.
Exactly. But I mean, there are all kinds of systems. There's another mall we had that had a place called Tilt arcade, so you could go to Tilt. It was this big. Basically, it was half the bomb side of the mall on one side. A huge place. It had an ice skating rink and all kinds of craziness to it. And again, these are places you had birthdays at and things like that. But again, it was the real distinct factor here was these arcades. They were a different animal when it came to playing games. Again, you didn't have those games at home. So no matter what console you had, I don't care if it was the NES, the SNES, the Jaguar, the whatever, you didn't really see a lot of cross-pollination in games until you got to like the Neo Geo, which that whole system is a conversation in itself for another time.
That's a whole other beast to tackle in this.
Yeah, I mean, and there's I'll be honest with you. Arcades were a thing, and they've kind of been phased out. And I'll say largely it's because of the fact that consoles nowadays are so much more accessible and have so much more availability in games. And I would even go so far as to say there's a lot more games that are a lot more enrapturing and draw you in. that are on console now. There's so many games are storyline driven. Games you're going to sit down and putz around for a few hours at minimum, playing and getting enthralled with. And I think this is, I would almost go so far as to dare say this is kind of showing a change in mentality with people, where back in the day, you know, our idea of playing a game was a couple of short games for a few quarters or a couple of rounds on whatever, to these story-driven games. Same thing goes for like media in terms of like movies and whatnot. We've gone from a society that you sat down for a hour-long show on TV to binge watching on Netflix. You know, you don't sit down and go, I'm going to watch an episode of Orange is the New Black. Now you sit down and go, holy shit, I'm 16 episodes in. What the fuck happened to the day? You know?
Yeah, the days of, you know, short-term accessible entertainment is long gone, because our access in the sense of arcades and gaming in general is basically all encompassing. Like, gaming now compared to even 15 years ago, 20 years ago, it has changed so drastically. And I'm not the oldest guy in the world, but, you know, I do remember the time of arcades. And I remember some of the best times were, and it's funny, I mean, I remember the best times in arcades. And it kind of touches back on what you were saying, like, you know, the whole social aspect of gaming. It's easier now, but back then, I wouldn't say they were really there for socializing. I mean, when you meet a common gamer and you play the game with them, yeah, you guys kind of build like a brotherhood, you know? You're like,
shit, you try to kick their asses because they're better at you than Street
Not if
Fighter.
It's Gauntlet. I mean, like, there are games that you're like, okay,
no, Gauntlet,
you
just get mad because the asshole come on! Stop shooting the food, asshole!
No, move this way. Okay, we need to progress down the map. You're fucking it all up. But I would feel like they were more, like, they were glorified babysitters, arcades were.
They were.
Your parents would drop you off. They would go shopping in the mall. They would drop you off with $20, like, here, go ahead and keep yourself entertained for a couple hours. And that's what I remember arcades about. My mom and my aunts, they would drop me off and they'd be like, all right, we're going to go shopping for a couple hours. Here's some money. Make it last. So
Make it last.
Make it last. Never did. We ended up 10 minutes later, like, we have more money.
It's funny because I remember Shayla telling me a story about how her mom would give her like $5 or something silly like that, and that was enough for her to go buy like a burger and fries, and then have enough money to play video games for a while.
God.
I love you, Seshi.
Those must have been the good old days.
There was the good old days.
Back in
it was interesting because this was, I mean, it was iconic. You will see, you know,
sure.
the youth hanging out at the arcades and movies. And it was an iconic element that you saw throughout history for that period of time, because again, it was a different experience. It's where you went out to hang out with your friends. And again, guys, to set that scene, we're talking about back in the day when the Atari 2600 was still being played avidly, the NES was still young, and cell phones didn't exist. So like, literally, when I say I grabbed $20 from my dad and riding my bike the half hour it takes to get to the arcade and spend God knows how many hours there was no legitimate way for them to find me or get a hold of me, unless they want to jump in the car and drive down to the arcade in hopes I was still there. So I mean, yeah, there was a lot more trust back then. Your kid wasn't gonna get, like, you know, kidnapped.
You weren't worried
and
about
raped.
them getting abducted right there. The good old days, you know.
Oh, the good old days, you know. But it was an experience. It was fun. I can tell you right now, I was actually joking with Seshi when we were at CAX. One of the halls we went into, the doors opened up and it was right to a big glass wall, so sunlight was coming in, and you walk in and it felt icky and wrong to see regular natural light in the arcade. You wanted to kind of get away from those machines to the darker areas.
Right. Get to the depths of that dungeon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, if somebody could like have like, you know, 10-hour YouTube video of just the sounds of an arcade, I could go to sleep to that.
Oh, there you go. That's some ambient noise for you.
That's an ambient noise right there.
Click, 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 click.
It was a beautiful thing. Now, a lot of arcades have gone wayward. There are no Atlantis castles, at least not around me. There are a few still around. There's Nickel City, for example, which, as the game implies, games are a nickel. Now, they cheat a little bit. There's some games that are free to play. There's some games that take like 5 nickels to freaking play a game, which...
Right.
Okay. And they also pride themselves on having like old ticket machines so you can drop coins and get tickets and go buy cheap crap that you could have bought cheaper on Amazon. But, I digress. Around here in Santa Cruz, we have Neptune's Kingdom. And this is part of a kind of a niche thing. Neptune's Kingdom is like a mini golf course and laser tag, and it's part of the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. It's got some arcade games in there as well. There are other places like that are like Golfland. Golfland's another one. Golfland has mini golf. It's a mini golf place, but they've got a pretty sizable arcade as well. And again, same thing. You buy tokens and play games in there. So they're still around, but they're very niche now, and they've kind of lost their draw for me per se, just because as a tax-paying adult now with 4 kids, money's always kind of strapped, and doling out $20 to my kids, as Nacho implied, isn't really going to get you that far, especially with these dumbass games. They're like, man. Oh, for a mere 4 quarters, you can play this game.
4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah,
literally. You don't play long.
No,
I mean, and I think I want to add to what you were just saying about, not feeling like you're like the arcades are speaking to you anymore. And I think it's because there are when you think about the pure idea of an arcade, there is nothing or very few examples that exist in this time or at this time that are pure arcades. They've all become kind of repurposed. Not so much that they're not arcades, like they obviously are, but they almost have to have an added factor to that. And I want to kind of bring that into what exists nowadays. Like one of the biggest chains that exist for arcades, Dave & Buster's. Mm-hmm. Now they have built themselves to be almost like an adult arcade. Well, basically, what I like to think of them as adult Chuck E. Cheese's. Okay, let
Chuck
that
E.
sink
Cheese
in.
serves. Oh, Chuck E. Cheese is another one we forgot to mention, but yeah, it's like Chuck E. Cheese with alcoholic beverages.
Alcoholic beverages. That's really how they've stayed ahead of the curve. Like they're fueling just addiction across the board. And they're selling it like fucking crazy. They're selling like hotcakes, No,
I gotta ask you though, something like Dave & Buster's. This really feels like Dave & Buster's honestly wouldn't exist if it wasn't for our generation.
Oh, of course not. No, that's kind of what I want to kind of bring back to the whole idea of an arcade is, yes, those days of just pure bliss in the arcade and being surrounded by the dark, murky look of being inside the arcade and enjoying every minute of that. It's almost long gone. It's more of a memory, and it will forever live in our history books as the forefathers of arcade gaming. But like in anything you will find, it has to evolve. It has to repurpose itself. And this is the evolution of arcade gaming. And I'll go even one step further. Not one step further, but another route that has kind of come up to our generation, modern day generation, whatever you want to call us, millennials, whatever the fuck, they're called these days. Gaming themed bars. This is something that is in the last 5 years, I would say, is kind of come up as a more acceptable idea. And
this is news to me. I just learned about this tonight when you brought it up.
See, I pride myself on, I guess I kind of pride myself, but also
be on the cutting edge.
Yeah, I like to keep myself current when it comes to this kind of stuff. And it's funny that you were kind of talking about like your generation and my generation. We were kind of raised on the idea of arcades, but we're older now. We're past that point of, sitting in a dark room playing just a video game. Like we have the ability to go out and have a social life. And now these business owners and, be active outside of an arcade.
Painting gamers in a very pretty light. You
No,
know that,
I'm
right?
saying- I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm just saying, arcades had they had just one purpose, gaming. But we are past that point that just gaming is enough. Like, we need more. Like, we are creatures of just needing more and more. And this is our way of adapting to that. Not only do we get our gaming fix, we get to relive the good old days, play our old school arcade systems, but we get, the social aspect of a bar type setting, or, a restaurant, or whatever you have it. There are additional contributing factors.
I look back and remember a lot of people getting really pissed off when you kick their ass at Street Fighter, and now you want to add alcohol into the mix. I'm starting to think this might be a bad thing, just for the fact that people are going to be drunk. Now, one thing I'm going to say here is, when it comes to these kind of systems, basically what these bars are set up for is they're set up to basically be a place like Nacho was talking about. You get together, you hang out, you order beers, etc., and you get to basically sit down. Whoa, lost Nacho. I apologize, by the way, guys. I'm having internet problems. He's having internet problems. But nevertheless, so basically what these boil down to is these systems are places where you can hang out and play not only arcade games, but actually play computer games. They have computers set up. So you sit down and play Overwatch and things like that. So I think that's pretty fascinating. So there's a lot more to it that is different now. As Nacho said, it kind of evolves, and it goes to a point where you have the ability to sit down in a more adult environment and enjoy yourself, which is really cool. And I think this is kind of I'll be honest with you. When I first came into this idea for the topic tonight, my thought was, our kids are dead. They're just, that's it. We're seeing the failing, the gasping breath of Nickel City and other places like that. And that they're going to be a gone thing, because now consoles are more powerful. They can easily handle whatever an arcade can do. The games are a lot more in depth and a lot more connective in arcades. But now you've taken that experience, and by doing these type of these bar scenes, you can now share this experience with other people, have a social structure, and still play all the same games. If you want to play, Overwatch, you can do that in a group setting with other friends. And have a lot of fun doing it instead of sitting at home all the time, which is, I personally encourage. Getting on actually seeing real human faces is a great thing. Beyond that, there is going to be more change in the future, I'm sure. We've talked about and reported on VR places. Now, granted, they've been overseas, but I can see that becoming more of a thing, because again, the idea behind that is for people who don't have the powerful systems that can do VR or whatever the case may be, they still have access to it. They'll be able to actually go and experience the VR experience and have a good laugh with your friends while you watch them wave around in space doing silliness. Just, there's more things to come. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with the future and see if there's what changes will come from it. I'm interested in this. Apparently there's a AFK bar in San Jose that Nacho has turned me on to now. So I want to see about checking that out. And, if it's something that we can bring to you guys to tell you about more of it, then we'll do a little field work for the for the sake of the people here. We will put ourselves in jeopardy. We'll go out into the field and experience this and let you know what it's like, and see if we can find out a little bit more about what's there. So, anyways, being the Nacho's gone, I'm gonna try to get him back. But we'll come back. We'll wrap up, and we'll see what's going on for next week.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nachopanda, and today we got some awesome stories that we're going to be covering in the world of esports. We got some from League of Legends, we got some from Counter-Strike, Global Offensive. So we're going to get right into it, you guys, and let's start talking. All right, you guys, for our first story today, we're going to actually be going back a couple weeks and cover the PGL Major, which is a Counter-Strike Global Offensive esports tournament that was going on. I believe it was the third week of July or something like that. But anyways, I want to cover this because this story is really kind of exciting, and it's an optimistic story for those teams that just have not had luck in any major tournament. We had Gambit Esports win their first PGL major, which is the tournament that they played in. And this is kind of surprising because Gambit has been always seen as a bottom tier team. They have not placed in the top. They have not played well in any major tournament. They have never beaten a top three team. And a month prior, they couldn't even make it out of the playoffs against the second team tier in DreamHack, which was a while back. But yet, Gambit, They did it. They fucking bootstrapped. They got their stuff done. They beat some of the best teams in Counter-Strike Global Offensive esports. And, it actually came down to a really close call against Astralis Gaming. And, it wasn't looking great because they were actually in a very close matchup with them. And it got to about 13-12. And these are like best of 30s, or they play a lot of rounds. They play I think 16 rounds wins or something like that. But anyways, they played very, very tight, close game with Astralis, and it actually got to the Astralis' favor at one point. But then a player, one of the main shot callers for Gambit Esports, Zeus, he made the gutsy call to call a timeout and really just basically flip the script for Gambit. Usually they're used to going at kind of a slower pace to really try to control the map, but he said, screw that, we're going to go for their best player. So Dupree plays for Astralis, is their best player, and they gunned hard, and they got him down, and they took him down, and cleared out basically everything in back-to-back rounds to deplete Astralis, and basically win the match. So it was insane watching a bottom-tier team really struggle to even compete, be able to really muster up the courage and just go above and beyond. So, this is just showing that there is no confident predictions when it comes to esports. There is always a ringer that can just flip the script and change it. And, this is a really awesome story for Zeus because he was just released last year by another team. I believe that is Team Liquid. And they released him because they did not feel confident in his gameplay. So, he was kind of let go in his inability to compete. And look at this. He won his first major with his team. So I'm very excited about that. I'm going to start watching more esports when it comes to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and we're going to start covering that more often, you guys. So congratulations, Gambit Esports, and we'll see you guys in the next tournament. All right, you guys. So what we're going to do next is we have what we're going to call is our marquee matchup for the week. Now, this week we are going to be covering League of Legends, the North American LCS League Championship Series. We have this week TSM, Team Solo Mid versus CounterLogic Gaming. Now, for any of you that don't know about this matchup, this is probably one of the most anticipated matchups throughout the season, throughout just all of League of Legends, because these teams are so tightly knit together that it's just so intense when they play, and it really comes down to the final, one team to make a little mistake that really just puts the other team ahead. And the matchups between these two have gone all the way back to spring season 3, which I think was like 2013 around that time. Anyways, obviously the teams were different back then, but now what makes it really intense, besides just the overall competition between the two teams, is the Team Solo Mid's main AD attack damage carrier. He used to play for CounterLogic Gaming, and when they released him, he came over to Team Solo Mid. So there's a lot of just animosity between the two teams, and Team Solo Mid has the best, I would say one of the best mid lane players, BRG. The guy he is highly rated as one of the best players in the game. And so putting these two teams together that have just had so much history and so much just bloodshed between the two, I think it makes it for really, really, really exciting gameplay. So this will be the matchup that I suggest you watch. It happens August 6th at about 3 p.m. I think is when their matchup is. But if you guys have a moment to check it out, I highly, highly recommend that you guys watch it. Root on whatever team you think will win. I personally think it's going to be TSM in 3 games, because it's a best of 3. I think they're going to beat Chronologic Gaming 2-1, or was it? Yeah, 2-1. So we will wait to see how that turns out, and I wish both teams best of luck because it's never a dull moment when you're watching those 2 teams play. All right, you guys, that's going to wrap it up this week for our coverage in the esports world. Like always, thank you guys so much for checking this out. Make sure to like and subscribe this video, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment below what you guys think about the podcast and ways we can improve. And let us know what you think about the esports segment. If there's a game you guys think we should cover or some news that you guys think we should touch on, go ahead and throw it in there. Let us know so that we can cater to your guys' interests. But also, you guys, thank you so much. My name is Nachopanda. You guys can find me on Twitch. I'm streaming all the time, so I'll leave the information right up here, you guys. So thank you guys so much for checking it out. We will see you next time. Have a great day, guys. Peace.
All right, guys, we're back, and more importantly, Nacho's back.
I'm so sorry, you guys. Oh my gosh, I had a mini freak out when that happened. I thought my world ended.
Well, just so you know, I soldiered on as best I could. My commitment to our people is our willingness to put our feet in the fire, to jump into the war zone and actually go visit this AFK lounge and get some in the field reporting for them.
Oh, I will gladly help with that.
I figure as much.
Yes.
So we will make that happen for you guys.
I need to be a BRG trip right there.
Dude, BRG meetup. Yay!
There we go. Let's do it.
RG, we need some funding for BRG. If you guys like to fund us for this, please. No, seriously. Nacho, my friend.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
I'm sorry that the other podcast couldn't make it with us. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So again, we'll try to reconnect with them and reschedule for an open slot we have. But for you, my friend, you when you're not here doing this or creating wonderful, luscious videos of esports, you can be found on Twitch of all places.
You know, that is my main central hub when it comes to my content. I put out 3 to 4 streams a week. You know, usually around 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Actually. Oh, just say Pacific Time.
We're
in daylight right now.
I know. I hate that. I always make that.
we need to cut
whatever.
That shit out.
You guys know what I'm saying. God damn it, Warped. Why we can't have nice things. Correcting me in front of my new friends.
Professional troll.
But anyways, you guys, I do live stream on Twitch 3 to 4 times a week. We variety channel. We do all kinds of shit. We are in no way professional gamers on the channel, but god damn it, I swear we have the most fun.
I'm not a professional gamer. I play one on TV.
Exactly. But yes, you guys, you can find me on Twitch. Check me out. Let me know you're from the BRG community, and let's be friends. Let's. Yeah. I mean, what else? What else do you need?
Free games, a new car.
Oh yeah, I guess those things. Yeah, I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff,
if you're into it. Now you do have a Twitter channel.
I do.
A Twitter page, a Twitter whatever.
Nacho_.
You tweet.
Panda. I do the tweets.
You do the tweets.
Yes.
But
I do all the Twitters. Yes.
But if you really want to have people be interactive with you, the better place to go is to Discord.
Of course, yes. You can find all this information too on my Twitch channel. I have it so easily accessible for you guys. But yes, I am across the board. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Discord. I'm pretty sure the only thing I'm not on is a carrier pigeon. I don't have one of those yet, but we are working on it. Okay, you guys? Maybe we'll get a panda. We'll get like a
carrier panda. I like this. Carrier panda works.
But yes, you guys. You can reach me across the board. I am always willing to talk to people, and if you have anything you want to talk about, dude, hit me up. I'm always willing to chat with you guys.
Always. So, and of course, you guys, you can always find him here every other week doing a little bit of esports. And Nacho is going to be back with us again because in a couple of weeks I'm going to be out for a few. And Nacho's going to be one of the guest co-hosts we're going to have back here, provided he doesn't splat into the ground.
That might. I will be skydiving tomorrow, you guys. I will be talking about that on my stream. So check it out. I'm sure this comes out after. What am I talking about?
You will have skydive. You will have talked about it. Everything will
yes.
be just hanky dory.
If
Other than the
everything
fact
goes
you're
well,
going to go up
right.
in a plane with no sight on it and jump out of it, even though it works perfectly fine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. Making it sound so appealing, right?
I'm an asshole, I know. Hey guys, you know my other channel we talked about enough times. No, there still is nothing on there. I've been way too busy building a house, which I'm going to try to get wrapped up pretty soon here, because I'm going to be going to Burning Man. So that's one of the reasons why I'm going to be out for a few weeks, as well as some family camping trip stuff. So nonetheless, if you want to check out some back catalog of cool stuff and some great ride videos, the ride videos are wonderful. I live in a beautiful area in Santa Cruz Mountains. You can see some ride videos going down the curvies. I burn up tires so badly, it's ridiculous. More importantly, if you want to keep in touch with what I'm doing, definitely head over to the BRG website. It's BallRockGaming.com. That's our community. That's the place to sign up. You want to be part of BRG community. What are the benefits of being there? No,
You get to
I'm
talk
kidding.
to us.
Yeah, exactly. No, seriously though, you sign up on the website. You can sign up for whitelisting for servers. We just launched our new vanilla Minecraft server. So we have a modded Minecraft server as well as a vanilla server. We also have something else. I forget what it is. And I apologize, Linz. But nevertheless, if you want to be whitelisted for those servers, be a part of the community. Let us get to know you and we'll add you to the list. And the vanilla server is going to be an absolute blast. I got to jump on a little bit today just to check things out. For anybody who follows other BRGers like Linz and Toxic and Ruark and so on, they actually did a storyline of Shattered Travels, which is where they went through time, so to speak, in terms of Minecraft, saving the world. And Big Damn Artist, another member of the BRG team, made some beautiful, elaborate cities for this storyline. And all of those places have been added to this vanilla server. So when you spawn into our server, you'll be in the middle of a big, beautiful town, and there'll be other big towns to explore, in addition to all the wonderful things that people are going to be making on that server. So look forward to that. Again, if you're into Minecraft, this is a great way. We're at the beginning of it, so you'll be getting on the ground floor, so to speak. So definitely check that out. And of course, guys, we do have a Twitch channel as well. So if you like seeing what's up and what's going on, definitely head over to the Ball Rocket Gaming channel on Twitch, which is just twitch.tv/BallRocketGaming, and you can see us where we have people streaming pretty much Monday through Friday, as well as we host all of the BRG members who do Twitch streams. So you might pop on to Ball Rocket and see Nacho's streaming and be able to hop over there. So definitely check that out. It's going to be a great hub to pick up a lot of different people and see what's going on. And of course, in case you haven't figured it out, we have a YouTube channel. You're here. Congratulations.
Who knew?
You're here. And since you're here, if you did enjoy this, if you do have some fond memories of the arcade, if you liked the idea of us going back to CAX and getting some interviews, or going to the gaming bar and getting some footage, definitely let us know. You can leave a comment down below. You can leave a like if you like the video. We certainly do appreciate that. And of course, definitely subscribe, because that way you can see whenever new episodes of the podcast come out. We also do other things that involve live streams being uploaded to the channel. We have our outtakes that we do from usually the podcast, among other things, etc. So there's a lot of good content coming out here, so definitely check that out. And of course, last but not least, if you guys would like to give a little donation to us monetarily, we certainly appreciate that. It helps us out, just to kind of offset some of the costs for the service and other things, as well as take the money that we get from this and give it back to the community in the form of events and giveaways and so on. Matter of fact, when we did the Freeview event, that was basically funded by the patrons, so we were able to do giveaways for people for in-game currencies and things like that. Just again, a way to give back to the community, so we really do appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. And Nacho, thank you so much for putting up with my horrible internet and your little hiccup.
You know, it's communities like this that really keep the dream alive. Gaming.
We
as
here
horrible of a dream as that can be.
We here at Ball Rocket Gaming, we are gonna make gaming great again.
Oh God. All right, we're gone. We're done. Good night, guys.
Night.